This space was left intentionally blank. Imagine what it would look like with your advertisement. Contact us for more information. Ladies and gentlemen,
What's up?
look at this. We are back. It is
episode
2025.
16.
We are back with a
this
vengeance.
time.
Wrestling with Life
has
has
been
returned. I know
so
you've
long.
been missing it. I know you've been dying for
Chomping at
more
the bit.
episodes of Wrestling with
Chomping at the
Life.
bit.
And we are not
Yeah.
going to disappoint. This is
No,
the
no, no.
first in a series of, dare I say, banger after
First
banger
of many
podcasts.
First of many.
Yes, it's we've got a lot planned
Many.
for this year. It's going to be great, and we are super excited to start the whole thing off with our new friend Samira, who we had the opportunity to meet at Power Pro Lucha.
Oh
and
yeah,
we are super excited to get a chance to talk to her today. So, Sean, I think that means it's time that we get this thing rolling.
To get it rocking.
Yeah, it starts right now. All right. Well, we are back, and as you can see, we are not alone.
No.
We brought our brand new friend, Samira, with us. How are you this evening?
Hi, it's nice to see you guys again. I'm doing good. I just came from the gym. I know we just talked about that before we actually did on air, but I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We're doing wonderful.
Yeah,
absolutely wonderful.
Did not come from the gym, but I'm okay. I will live. I will survive.
But let's talk real quick about that debut show, Power Pro Lucha Regeneration. You were the first announcer, if you will, of Power Pro Lucha. How does that make you feel?
I believe they called you the Hype Commander.
Yes, the Hype Commander.
Their social media Hype Commander. Yes.
I was, oh my gosh, it was such a full circle moment for me because, and I had mentioned this on my vlog too, and then I had thought about it the next day after the show. So you know how it all basically came from, all of the talent is from Chikara, basically. So when my first ever indie show back in 2014 was Chikara.
Nice.
And then when I started out in the indies, 7 years later, 2021, I don't know if you would call it the successor, Camp Leapfrog. That's where I started.
Right.
Yeah.
Many years later. And now I'm here. And I'm that's crazy how connected it all was. So it was definitely a huge honor to, that I got asked to be a part of this. And I'm their hype commander of their show. And it was so amazing. And to work with all these amazing talent and to see everybody again, because I don't work with them often as much anymore. I'm not really in the state of PA, and I don't know how, and some of them are all spread out. So it's nice to be with everybody. It was such a huge honor. And I'm excited to see where everything goes.
All right. So you mentioned, Chikara and being a fan back then. So, and I know there were a lot of people there, not just people working the show, but fans who were, longtime supporters of Chikara. And did you get the feeling that it was very much similar to the feelings we used to get at Chikara shows? It just had that feeling to it.
It did. I remember kind of my first show and some of the shows that I went to, it was it felt like that vibe, especially with the talent that was on the card, some of those wrestlers. And it's just it felt like that vibe and the atmosphere of the crowd. And then also the reactions that we did see online. And it definitely felt like that. How did it feel for you guys then?
That was, so first of all, the venue
insane
was incredible. I don't know, props to them for finding that venue, but when we walked in, we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know where the ring was, but we were just in awe about just walking through that venue. It was just a beautiful venue. So that really helped add to the how special it was. And then to have the entranceway be up the steps where the screens are in the back of you, watching it back on IWTV, it looked so cool.
Yeah, I would say, so I did like, I don't know, like 5 years of Chikara shows, and I was like 3 hours away from where they did their shows, and I was driving back and forth like every other weekend when they were doing like 2 shows a month. And the thing about Chikara is that, especially for the fans, you felt like a part of something. You felt like a part of a family, because you were seeing the same people at every show. We would go early. We had front row seats, but you wanted to make sure you got exactly where you wanted to sit. So we would always go early, and we'd be hanging out outside, and the wrestlers would be coming in, and people would stop and talk. And like, it wasn't like anything else. I get this feeling that it could probably be equated to like how fans felt back in the day with ECW, like the original ECW, where they felt like this is ours, and we have something here. So to be able to come somewhere and have that feeling again, listening to some of the people speak before the show, especially talking about like, we all lost something 5 years ago, and we're here to try and get that back. And it really was incredible, because again, you got to see a ton of people that you probably haven't seen in a long time, and people that you used to be in regular contact with and see them a couple times a month. And it was nice, because you could tell that the people who are running this are super committed to making sure that this is exactly what it needs to be. And I'm very excited, because you can see, even in this first show, you see them planting the seeds of this long-term storytelling, which was always a staple of Chikara. That was a really big thing. And so I think they laid a really good foundation for that. And I think from here, the sky's the limit. I think they have a great talent base where it's a mix of your Chikara people, but you also are seeing people that are coming in and, not really a part of that whole Chikara thing, but now they're becoming a part of this. Like we did a review of the show, and we talked about, just for example, Harleen Lopez.
Yes.
I feel like, nothing against Ryan Mooney either, because I think they were both phenomenal.
No.
But they put on a great match. But I feel like Harleen put on almost like a, for the moment, a career defining match, because I think it really, she stepped in that ring and she showed everybody, who she was, and that she was here not to mess around, but to, get in that ring and show people how talented she is. And I think she improves every time we see her. And she was really good that night. So they have this interesting mix of people that have been there for a long time, but now you're bringing in these newer people as well.
It was definitely amazing to be part of, and like how it was run too, like down to like every single detail, like behind the scenes that I got to see was just like, so like, it was so amazing. I was just like, wow, this is like, and like how you were talking about the venue, Sean, like insane. Like as soon as like we came in for our call time, like, and we're just like taking it all in, and like this, like the steps, how you said, it just adds to it. It adds to the moment. And then especially, I didn't notice it until I came off of camera, when I stood by commentary. So then I'm looking like where hard cam is, and then I see all the TVs in the back just displaying the show, and it just and how it looked on IWTV as well. It like watching it back, I'm like, this is so sick, and like how it like all looked, and the matches and the stories. Like I don't even know where the stories are going. Okay. I don't ask it. I find out once I get there. So I'm like looking, and I'm like, so I'm very excited to see where everything's going to go. They did such an amazing job with everything. And you can just like, you could just tell how much they poured their hearts into this, and how much they wanted this. And it was just a good vibe the whole day. I'm very excited to see what's to come with it all. I'm like, just, it was so great.
Yeah, it was definitely just like an awe-inspiring, if you will, like indie show. Like I know we wrap up into so many indie shows at this point the last 2 years, but this one for me really like stood out as like the indie show probably of the year. And that's not even over yet.
Very
like,
special.
It's very special.
Yeah, but there's something special about it.
Going from your most recent events to maybe ones in the past, do you remember your very first wrestling gig?
Yeah, so it was Camp Leapfrog, and oh my gosh, I still remember like those 2 days because we did tapings, and those were my first ever like shows because this was in July of 21. And I just remember like going in, I didn't really like know anybody. Like I knew like maybe like 2 or 3 people, and I was so nervous. Like I was doing backstage interviews for Camp Lee Frog at the time. I was so nervous. Like I did not know what to expect. And I had my equipment, and we were filming like for hours, and then we filmed the next day because they used to do that. Like they did 2 days of tapings. And oh my gosh, but I was so excited at the same time because I was like, I'm so excited to step into this role of actually now working in indie wrestling and seeing where this could possibly go. But when I look back at those interviews, I cringe so hard at myself. I'm like, no, I'm like, she got to do this, she got to do that. Like, what is she doing? Like,
we do the same
I
thing.
knew I had to grow from that.
We know
the same
the
thing
feeling.
with the podcast. We'll go back and watch like the first like 10 episodes, and we're like, ugh, what was that? Ugh.
I look at these things and I'm like, how did I let those graphics get on the air? Like, when did I think that was good? Like, what part of my mind did I lose? Because it's just, it's crazy. So the whole story of like Camp Leapfrog and all of that, I mean, it's insane to begin with. Like the whole thing is just like the most ridiculously fun indie kind of idea, but tell us a little bit about, how you make that transition from being a fan to like getting into, actually working in the world of pro wrestling.
So I have been a fan since I was a kid. And I knew I never wanted to wrestle. I cannot take what they do. Like, I have so much respect for them. I cannot do that. But I was like, I started making videos online, like wrestling videos, because I always loved talking about wrestling. And of course, like nobody my age and no like other females really liked wrestling near me. It was all like, I always had friends online. I was part of like online wrestling culture because like that's where I made all my friends that could relate to me. And then I started, what did I do? I started working with some wrestling websites since I was doing stuff on YouTube. They're like, hey, maybe this will like work out. Like you can be our interviewer for our channel. So I did that on and off with 2 websites for, I want to say about like 3-4 years, like on and off. And then I remember I was finishing up university and I was studying communications, and I knew I was like, as much as I like this, I feel like I wanted to transition into indies. I was like, I knew people because obviously I had been doing like the behind the scenes, like kind of like podcasting stuff and like interviews and doing scrums and stuff. I was like, I feel like I'd have more fun doing that. So then I reached out to Sam Laterna at the time. I said, hey, like, can you help me? Like, maybe give me some feedback. Like, I was not expecting her to set me up anywhere or help me out. Like, I thought maybe she'd give me some feedback and then maybe I'd try to reach out places. But she gave me feedback, and then she's like, hey, there's this place that I work for that's around you. Maybe like you could work with them. Like I'll put you in touch with the promoter. And what do you know? It was Camp Leapfrog. And like, that's how it started. So for her, by her helping me and by me reaching out to her, that's how I got started. Like that's like, and that's so like great to have like fellow broadcasters and fellow people in this business that do want to help you and like that and have that support. Cause we're all just trying to have fun and like, have something together. So that I very much appreciate her for that. I always say that.
Yeah, of course.
I always find it interesting when people talk about, like, for example, you mentioned, I was finishing up university, in communications, and, all these people have all these things. And I'm like, yeah, I just bought some equipment and decided I'd talk. Like I didn't have, like, I didn't do anything to like train for this. I was just like, well, it's hilarious though, because like when I decided to start this, I had just gotten into wrestling podcasts. I didn't really know much about it, but I heard Colt Cabana's podcast, and so he would either be like on the road somewhere or he would be like in his little studio apartment in Chicago. But I was like, he sounds like the most professional production I've ever heard. Like, it was the best sounding. I mean, and you're listening to like, podcasts that have, $1 million corporations behind them and things like that, and they don't sound as good as him. So I just bought the same equipment he had. And then I was like, well, I guess, I'm going to make this happen. But yeah, I always find it interesting when people come from, different backgrounds like that, and then they're like, yeah, I had this, degree in communication,
Right.
so now I ring announce, and I just always find that really interesting.
So, what are the differences for you? And
Yeah, the broadcasting degree definitely helped.
Right, of course. But so you have done both backstage correspondence and ring announcing. What are some of your favorite things about each aspect of that part of wrestling for you?
Ooh, okay. So obviously I was known for interviews for a long time, and now I get known for both, like ring announcing and interviews. I think with interviews, I really like the aspect of like developing into not like a character per se, but like somebody that helps bring out like the emotion of the talent. Like if there's somebody screaming in my face and they're a heel, like I'm gonna react to it. Like, and I love that aspect, because sometimes like there's interviewers that just still go like, no, like come on, let's react. We got to put them over that. Hey, if they're screaming in our face and they're being a heel, like let's react. So I love like reacting to that. And like just because you never know what they're gonna bring out of you, and I like just setting the scene. Like okay, where can we do this promo? Because if there's not a designated area or whatever, okay, where can we go do this to do different spots? And how can I phrase all this information to you, make it like so it's not so long, but and how can we make this like good, like. And I've just really loved my recent work, like that I've been doing with interviews. And I like, because I think it just went up of Pro Wrestling Magics. I did one with Eden recently where I'm chasing after him, and I'm like freaking out. And I'm like, what did you do that for? And he's like screaming in my face. And the best part was, you can't see it on camera. Across the street, there's like houses, and out of the corner of my eye, I could see, because I'm like looking like at Eden, and there's people behind him across the street, and they're like looking, and I'm like thinking in my head, do not come over here. There's nothing wrong. Like I am not in danger. Like I only see the cameraman recording, but like that aspect is so funny. Like I just like love doing, like we go wherever and we just film it. Like we bring that energy out of each other and get a good promo out of it. I love it. I love that kind of stuff, doing stuff differently. Like I hopped into an ambulance one time. That is probably still one of my favorite interviews of like all time. Like we're like, can we please use the ambulance for the promo? And they're like, yeah. So like they're in the ambulance, and his manager's tending to him, and the guy's like trying to go, and I'm like, hey guys, like, and they're yelling at me, and they're like, what are you doing in here? Why are you asking us these questions? I love that. I love that so much. With the ringing announcing, it's cool because then you're setting the tone for the show, and you're responsible for keeping the crowd like engaged like between the matches, and especially like the main event. And that's like kind of one of my favorite things, because like I always like to ask everybody, like, so like, are you ready for the main event? Like everybody cheers, and sometimes it's not loud enough. If I know you can be like louder than that, but I usually do it. I like to hear. And oh my God, at Power Pro, I remember it just being so loud when I asked it the second time. And I felt it. Like when you feel that, like there's no other feeling like it, because like they get you hyped up, and it's just like, and especially if it's a championship match too, and you're in ring and you're ready, and like, oh my God, like I just feel that adrenaline. But I get so nervous, like before, like even my interviews, I am really nervous. You wouldn't be able to tell. Like as soon as I step through the curtain or whatever, and I start, so I'm fine. Like then that's I'm good for the rest of the show. But I will, like I think it was in my Power Pro Lucha vlog. That was the first time I ever like showed on my vlog, like right before I went out, that how nervous I truly was. I'm like, I'm freaking out. I'm really nervous. Like, but like I love it, because I know as soon as like I go out there, I'm fine. But I'm like freaking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. I love both of them.
I feel like everyone has like those pre-show jitters. Like I know when me and Ralph first started adding video to the podcast, I was like, I don't know if I can do video, Ralph. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a big jump.
I don't know. And as soon as we start doing it, I'm like, oh, okay, this is cool. Yeah, I can do this. This is fine.
Yeah,
like, but
get used to it after a while.
There's always like this pre-show. Like I don't know if I want to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, I would say probably maybe like the last 10 minutes or so before we do an episode, especially like, taping episodes is one thing, but doing episodes live, I always wonder to myself, like, oh, is everything going to go all right? Am I going to be interesting enough? Are they going to want to
Right.
talk to me? Are they going to look at me and be like, well, that's a dumb question. Why would you waste your time asking that? Like, I think about those kind of things. And then, I always tell my wife, I'm like, because, she talks about, oh, you just, you go up there and you talk and all that. I'm like, listen, I'm a personality. I've got to be like on the whole time.
You got to
Like,
be on the whole. Exactly.
People expect a
Exactly.
certain
Like
level
it's
from
much
me.
more.
Yeah.
Like
It
it's
really
like
is.
it's like we have names, like, but like we sort of have to become like our names, King Ralph Parmesan. Like as soon as we turn the camera on, we
So we are.
become.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
and at this stage of the game, which is kind of fun for both of us, we both had moments where our names became like solidified, validated. Ralph went to a show, and on the list he was known as King Ralph. So when he went up there as Ralph, they're like,
yeah. I
Ralph?
I show up at the door with my wife, because it was a student show for the Wrestle Factory, and I show up with my wife at the door, and the guy's got the clipboard and then he's checking off names, and I give him my name, Ralph, and he's looking down the list and he's like, King Ralph. I'm like, that's me.
Yep, that's me.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if my wife found it funnier that happened, or how much I thought it was hilarious that, like, somebody recognized me as that. But yeah, it's weird, and I don't know, I'm sure you understand this. It's weird when you see people who know who you are.
Right.
And like we've had some recent shows that we've been at where people have come up to us, and like at one show they were like, oh, you're the podcast guys. Can we get a picture with you? Like, what? Me?
Yeah,
like
like what? Like who?
Yeah.
Who am I? I don't know. Like I'm just a guy who loves doing podcasts.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure photo, but like I don't know who.
So it is.
What?
It is kind of weird when people start to recognize you.
It is. It's like a surreal feeling, because you're just like, oh my God, like, you know me for like that, like what, and
Right.
it's always crazy, but then but you feel like all that support, and you just like can't believe it. It means a lot to you. I remember I was going to a Black Label Pro show last year.
Okay.
And in the airport, I got recognized by somebody. I think I was going to get a coffee or something, and the worker is like, Samira. And like, this is before like I ordered or like anything, like with the phone or giving them my name or something.
Right.
I'm like thinking, do I know this person?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I was still like, I'm like thinking, I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh my God, like I know you from X, like you're the ring announcer, you're the interview. Like, oh my God, like are you traveling to a show? I'm like, yeah, I'm traveling. I'm like coming to get some coffee before my flight. They're like, oh my God. They're like, it's so nice. I would ask for like a picture, but like we're so busy right now. But it was so nice to meet you. And I was like,
right.
That's cool.
I was like sitting there like, oh my gosh. I was like, it was really cool. It's like cool those moments, but I like so appreciative of that. I love when people come and say hi, and like it's so nice.
Right. Now, when you're either doing a backstage interview or doing like ring announcing, do you ever have like a moment where like you're in the moment, but like you're almost like you're watching yourself in that moment, like almost like an out of body experience almost?
Maybe for like what I would consider big ones, maybe ones that would mean like a lot to me. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like huge. Like, oh my God. Like, and like, I feel like, and then I get in such like a zone like that. I'm like, and I just try to like remember as much as I can. I'm like, okay, like,
right.
I can't mess this up. But I'm just like, okay, got this. It's like, I think it just happens with like some of like the bigger talent. Like if it's talent that I've watched on TV in the past, and I'm like, oh my God, like I can't, I can't mess this up. Or just like stuff like, it's like, you just like, it's just being on your A game and just feeling like you're not even there. And then it's like, once you're finished and like you go back and like you watch and you're like, oh wow, I did that.
Right.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Yeah. So have you ever had a moment where you've been sort of starstruck by somebody that has like you've met at a show or something like that?
Ooh, okay. I think a lot of it comes from like BLP, working at BLP or
Right.
BRCW,
Mhm.
because there's like a lot of like that, like especially that talent was a lot of either talent I used to watch on like TV,
Mhm.
like what if they book them, or like people that I've admired on the indies, and like I finally
Right.
get to work with them. And oh my gosh, I think the biggest one so far that got me was Nick Nemeth and Matt
Oh.
Cardona
Oh,
last year at
yeah.
yes.
Squared
Oh,
Circle. So
yeah.
funny enough, we're coming up on Squared Circles this year. But
Mhm.
last year was my first Squared Circle, and I remember the day before the show, it got announced, and I was at my shoot job, and I
Mhm.
see it, and I'm like, I have to ring announce this, and this is kicking off the show. I'm like,
Right.
and
Oh
I'm like
wow.
just sitting looking at my phone, and and like my coworker's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, I don't know. I
Mhm.
literally was like, I have no idea. I was like, you might want to ask me that at a later time because I don't have an answer for you. It was just like a cool moment because I just like as I was younger, like watching both of them on, television,
Mhm.
for me to now like I'm ring announcing them at Squared Circle Expo, opening the show, my first ever one, and knowing how that was a big moment, like that
Mhm.
was insane. And I think when we did the whole thing with the DraftKings and like that whole show was just
Right.
like insane for me too, because I'm like knowing like big moments like that, like
Mhm.
big things, like I'm just like I get so
Yeah.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah, I know, like, for us now, me going into this, I met hundreds of wrestlers before I even started this. I used to do autograph signings and all that stuff, so I've met a lot of people. But going into this, there's certain people that are just like on a different level. So like we got to we were at Real Rumble at the Mahoning Drive-In last year,
Yep.
and we got to
Yep.
interview a ton of people. But we got to interview Ultramanus, which yeah, I've been watching Ultramanus for forever, and
Forever.
that was such a huge honor to be able to talk to him like that. When I started this, he was definitely on the bucket list. So to talk to him was really cool. But then we got to talk to Hello Wicked, and there was this moment during the interview because we at the beginning of the interview,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I said, King Ralph Parmesan, we're here at Real Rumble, and How the Wicked out of nowhere looks at me and he's like, "Didn't you used to be a captain?" And he remembered that, like, I used to call myself the only captain, and it used to be like I had a screen named the only captain, and it was CAP and the number 10. And he
oh
remembered
my
that, and I was like,
gosh.
that was like a holy shit moment for me. I was like,
Yeah.
you gotta be kidding me. So I just played it off. I'm like, yeah, I sold the boat and got a kingdom. Like I'm
Right.
good.
Right.
But like it blew
But like
my
that
mind.
blows your mind. You're just like, oh my
Yes.
god, you remember that
How?
happens. I'm like, oh my
Yeah.
god, like wait, why you remember me? You know me, like
Hmm.
For me,
Yeah.
that sort of Star Trek feeling, and it's still every time we see him, I still get like the little bit of like tears, but like we have now talked to Drew Gulak at least 4 times in person to the
Oh
point where
yeah,
he just
he's
where to the point where he's just like, hey guys, what's up? We're like,
yeah,
hi,
it's
Drew.
insane.
Like
Like, yeah.
what? Like we're just like,
I mean, I used to watch him in the Chikara days, but then
yep,
like, you think about what he's done, like being on TV,
yeah,
and like it's just insane sometimes where it's just like, hey, what's up, guys? Like, what? Yeah, like, okay,
like
hey, what's up?
like
Gotta play it cool. Yeah,
I like
can't be the
like walk away. I'm like, that's Drew Gulak.
yeah,
By the
right.
way,
Like
like
this, yeah, like seriously, just insane.
or like for me, us getting a chance to talk to uh Cindy Bacabella, that was a
Oh,
treat. That was a big treat.
oh,
That was
I
oh,
miss
yeah,
Sydney.
working with Sydney
Oh,
Bacavella.
dude, that was a treat. That he was, it was different too because he was half in character, half out of character. So like, it
hmm
was the perfect combination of just Sydney being Sydney. It was
yeah.
just
Yeah, it was really fun. Again, Sydney, somebody I've known for a long time. We used to send each other messages on Twitter about different meats we were smoking, and like it was just it was crazy. Like, but he is, I mean, for everything that he does, he is an unsung hero of the indie profession. I think he is creatively so talented, but just, to be able to get him on an episode. And I mean, even thinking about, just a lot of the indie people we've been able to talk to, again, it goes back to what we were talking about a little earlier about kind of stepping back and taking a look at like, wow, what have I been able to do? Like taking that step back.
And that's a good thing too, to like sit back and like look at what you've done. And because I do that all the time, like if sometimes I'm feeling like discouraged or something, I'm like, okay, but I did this and this. Like if I wasn't good enough or I wasn't like something, like I wouldn't have gotten those opportunities for what I've done.
Right.
And it's so easy to go back and look at what you've done, and you're like, you probably didn't think like in X amount of years ago that you'd do this with this person or bring out this show or do that. Like, and that's what's like really cool about it. Cause I think about like, if 6-7-year-old Samira could see herself now, like she wouldn't believe it, or me, even not even like 5 years ago, I wouldn't have
Right.
got to do the stuff I've done already in not even 4 years in the indies. Like it's insane.
Yeah. You literally have been everywhere. Your graphic speaks for itself on Instagram. The amount of logos that is on your seen here prompt. You've literally been everywhere, but I'm curious, what's the furthest that you've traveled for a show?
Oh, good question.
I don't know if it would be the Florida promotion. Is Florida further than Illinois? I think so.
Ooh,
good question.
Yeah, that is a good question. Huh.
I think it might be. So I think that
the
would
research
be
team
the
on that
farthest.
We're gonna get the research team on this.
The research team is on that. Okay,
is on that. See which is farther, Florida or Illinois. My guess is Florida, but I could be wrong.
Well, let's see.
Be wrong.
Yes, it is. It is Florida by actually a little less than twice the amount it is to Illinois. So Florida is definitely Florida is definitely much further away. So that's but do you and this is something that I've asked a number of people that are in the business, but do you enjoy the traveling aspect of it, or is it like a hassle?
I enjoy it. I would say, like, I love when I need to fly. I like to fly. It's like easier than driving like long hours. But I do like the drives because then I get to have my music, or I can call a friend and we can talk the whole way. It's nice because especially like if they're wrestlers too, like me and Emily J, if you guys are familiar with her, she tours like Virginia and stuff. So sometimes like if she's coming back from a show on a Saturday and I am too, so she's going her way and I'm going my way, we'll call each other, okay, how was your show? And then I was like, and then we'll talk the whole way, catch up, or like and it's nice. Or like, but I usually enjoy it. I like the drives. I've gotten like used to them, and I was always like the driver in my friend group, like growing up too. So I'm just like, I think it was a sign all along. But I enjoy them. I like the traveling aspect. I'm just manifesting this year to get over to the West Coast. That might happen. I can't really talk too much about it, but that might be. Then here we go, the farthest that we go.
Manifest that into existence. Let's go.
So okay, I find that hilarious that you mentioned that you're manifesting that out there, because we had a conversation. I don't remember what episode it was on or what we were doing, but I decided that I'm going to manifest that we need to get to Alaska. Like we need to go, like we need to be like brought into a show in Alaska to like come and cover it. And like, that's my, like one of those way out there.
There's a promotion there.
Oh yeah.
There's so
the cheeseburger.
Well, that's kind of where it all started, because I saw the cheeseburger was like in Alaska, and I'm like, because I started looking up like some of the wrestlers, and there are some very Alaskan gimmicks, and I'm like, this is a place I have to go. Like I have to just get up there. So this may need to be a conversation with Cheeseburger to get that done.
Oh my god, you have to. You have to talk to him about it and ask him about reindeer meat.
Oh, reindeer meat. Okay. All right.
Oh,
interesting.
Hey, wait. That brings me to another subject.
There we go.
A running gag on our show. Okay.
Bring it up. Let's go.
We are at a point, Sean, we're still at 0, aren't we? Or did we get 1?
No, I think we're like 4, 5, and 1.
So okay.
No, 2 actually, because 1 had proven one.
One
one
doesn't
claims
count.
they saw it at a zoo.
One doesn't count. Yeah. Okay. All right. So, have you done much work in the New England area?
We'll
start there.
No, I
Okay.
don't. Yeah, no, I haven't. But I
Okay.
know of like stuff up there.
Okay.
Okay.
So this
Oh, no.
this all started when we had Ultimo Ant on the show, and
Yep.
he was
First guest.
he was our very first guest.
Yep.
This was before video. So
Yep.
we're talking to Ultimo Ant, and he's talking about traveling to the New England area, Green Mountain in Vermont.
Yeah, Vermont.
He travels up there all the time, and he travels with CC Boost. And so the two of them have heard about this highway up there where more people are killed by moose in the United States in a year than anywhere else. So they constantly drive that road looking for moose, and they have never found one, never seen one. So we have been consistently asking people, do you believe that moose are real? Have you ever seen one? And we got one person that saw one in a zoo, and I think we got one person that saw
That actually
one.
had video proof, but
not
it was not in Vermont.
It was not in
Yeah.
Vermont. It was out in Colorado, in one of the national forests. But like, we can't find people. Like, moose are a myth.
I've never seen a moose, but I think
Okay.
I've had friends that seen.
Oh,
yeah,
see,
yeah.
now wait a minute. Now,
Stop it. Stop it.
secondhand moose don't count.
Stop it.
Secondhand moose.
Secondhand moose don't count. Stop it.
What? So you guys think they're fake?
So
I
we've
don't
had
know that they're
multiple people
real.
on the show. I've never personally seen one myself, but the very first person that gave us the extreme no, and I'm pretty sure was the first person that brought it up after Ultimo Ant, was Pete Corvus. Pete Corvus was very passionate about the fact that moose are a myth. They don't
Oh my
exist.
gosh.
They're fake. They're
The
AI. They're not real.
Yeah. So the issue with him is that he was staying at a hotel, and he was told that in the morning you can see the moose like walking right up to the hotel. Well, that never happened for him. He didn't see a single one. So then he gets to the airport, and the minute he gets on the plane, he gets a text from somebody with a picture claiming to have seen a moose. And he was so mad, because he was very angry about this. And I understand his anger. Like, I get it. But yes,
Oh my gosh.
moose do not exist. All right.
Moose
Now
do
that-
not exist.
Now that we talked about moose. All right.
Now
So-
we're moose.
Art- Now, obviously, you are deeply rooted in the indie world, and there's all kinds of things going on in the indie world. But as far as mainstream wrestling goes, do you follow the product? Do you have things you like to watch?
I've tried to follow as much as I can because, as we all know, there's so much wrestling nowadays.
Yeah.
So I
Indeed.
try to
A lot.
keep up with mainstream as much as I can, whether it's like trying to watch it live or watching like later on, or like going back
Right.
and watching like YouTube clips or something.
Right.
Like I try
Yeah.
my best, but I really like watching NXT.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
since like especially when you have some people there and like, oh, like, yeah, let's go. And like
Yeah.
but yeah, it's like I try to keep up with like mainstream as much as I can, because when you're surrounded by so much indies and stuff like that, because I
Right.
love watching the indies too, but then it's
Sure.
like trying to keep up with main product as well. It's like, oh, there's so much wrestling out there.
So
there's a lot. There's a lot.
There is a lot. So I got two questions on that, but I want to throw this out there first because you mentioned seeing your friends on TV. Judy Underwood and Ricky Price were on an
Yeah,
episode
baby!
of Collision. So congratulations to them.
Debut.
That is freaking
What up?
awesome.
Yeah.
They
Deserved.
the commentators mentioned their name, Smash and Burn, on
Yep,
TV.
it was
Like,
awesome.
it was
It was awesome.
very cool. I made the wife watch that too, because I was
Yeah.
like, we know these guys. Like, you
we
got to
know
see
these
this.
guys.
You listen,
We interviewed
squash
one of
match or
them.
not, they got on TV, and that's what's
Yeah,
important.
that's sick. Yeah.
All right, so
We love that.
yes. So question number one: are you or were you a fan of John Cena? That's number one.
Oh yeah, of course I was.
Oh boy.
Come on, like, especially like
Oh,
if you're a kid
no.
and you're getting into wrestling, like he was like the person. But
That
my
is-
favorite version is always Dr. Thugonomics. Like that's
Oh,
always gonna be my
okay,
favorite version.
that's a little bit better. But if you're a kid getting into wrestling and your parents are letting you enjoy John Cena and wear the merch, that's bad parenting. That's called social
bad
services.
parenting.
Bad
No,
parenting.
that is. Yep, terrible. It is horrible. Now,
Terrible.
But, okay. So on that vein, are you a fan of the heel turn?
I loved it. Okay, I think
Yeah.
this was perfect for it
Yep.
to go like this. Like this is his last year of wrestling. Like
Yep.
we have not seen a heel turn from him, but I'm hoping he'll bust out the Doctor thing. I need that. I need that before he goes. Like I
You just
can't.
need
I
You just need one last rap.
I know.
I
I did it. I dressed up us for the Smashmaster show. For Halloween, I dressed up as the Doctor of Thugonomics. I made them theme me out. I was rapping the song. I was ready.
Not to get off on a tangent, but you seem to be a big fan of Halloween. You're very pro Halloween.
I just I love working wrestling shows during Halloween. I love the theme. It's fun to dress up and be somebody else for the day and stuff like that.
Right.
It's very fun.
All right. So focusing on the heel turn, I've been thinking about this, and I think it's possible that we could see the Doctor of Thugonomics at some point, because I think John Cena is going to turn on The Rock. I think we're seeing that before it's all over, because when John Cena lost to The Rock at WrestleMania, that first loss, whatever it was, he was devastated. And for one entire year, I had on my Facebook profile, I had the banner was the picture of him sitting in the aisleway looking mopey, and then the profile picture was of The Rock celebrating in the ring. And I left that up there for an entire year, one calendar year, because I was so happy that he lost. But I think the heel turn has gone very well. I think it's something that if we're only getting another year out of him, it's something that people have wanted to see for a long time. And the promos have been good. He has been hitting all the right notes. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. Question number 2, and this one might even be more important than the John Cena question, because we all know how much I don't like John Cena.
Yeah.
So are you yeet or are you no yeet? Bringing out the softballs are over. I'm lobbing
softballs are done.
90 mile an hour fastballs.
That's it. We're done.
We're getting into it.
I want to say just because if I like to see how he's come from where he started to how he came up to now, going from being this whole tag team wrestler with his brother, and he really developed as a solo wrestler.
I mean,
I love that.
I mean, going from being an overrated tag team wrestler to an overrated singles wrestler, that's a huge move.
But I love to see his character development. It was I don't know. I really liked it. I really liked to see how he really transformed himself into something so much bigger. And I love that. And he's still big with his brother, and the Usos are amazing, but it's great to see the characters themselves and not attached to each other. And that's what I love to see them have their own persona.
Yeah. They kind of stepped out of the shadow of being twins. They kind of, for the longest time, you could not tell who was who. And that's not a joke. That's legit. But now you could never see them as the same person again. They have gone in such separate directions and developed themselves. But those were some disappointing answers, I'm sorry to say.
Well, to be fair, I was always and still am a Randy Orton person. Randy Orton girl. That was always my number one.
I got you.
There you go.
I remember I was at WrestleMania 25 and he came out, and I remember just the entire building singing his theme song, and it was incredible because I'm sitting around literally people who don't speak English. I have people from all these different countries sitting around me, and I can't talk to them at all because they don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what they're saying, but they know the words to Randy Orton's song. They all sang it. It was amazing. Definitely a talent.
Definitely a talent. And we lost Ralph. That's okay. We lost Ralph. That's fine. I can ask this question because I was thinking about it before, and I don't know why I didn't ask this sooner to other Wrestling with Lifers or just wrestlers in general. In your opinion, did you find wrestling or did wrestling find you?
I think it was a mix of both. When actually getting into wrestling, watching it, or actually being involved with wrestling.
Wherever wrestling started for you.
I would say it's a little bit of both, because I got into it because of family. My uncle, so I'd come home from school every day, and we'd go down to my grandmother's house, and my uncle would have the video game, and we'd play, and so it kind of I found it, but it found me. And then I just continued with them. We went to one of the live shows when I was young, and I knew at that point when I went to I was oh, I'm gonna I'm gonna love this forever. I
Right.
just know it. And then I just stuck with it. So I guess it's a kind of like I found it and it found me, and then it found, and then I would say that again in the same way, like when I was just like struggling to find out what was gonna be meant for me, career wise. Obviously wrestling's not my full time, but what I wanted to figure out, it kind of helped me in a way, and like trying to then meet when I went to decided to join the indies. It's like I found each other at the perfect time. I was like, okay, everything. It's like that's what I would say. We found it both at the same time, so it was both.
Nice.
So you mentioned video games. So tell us a little bit about what some of the things you like to do when you're not working or you're not, announcing or commentating. What are some things you enjoy?
The gym. I'm a gym rat. I love the gym.
I don't understand that at all, but okay.
I love it. And obviously by the running on coffee as well. I love going to do like coffee shops, coffee.
Yeah.
I love that. And just being with friends and family, especially like me, I'm Lebanese with the Lebanese flag in the background.
Yeah. You know what? And I'm glad you mentioned
oriented.
that. I was going to ask you about that flag because we've all got flags hanging here.
Yeah, we all have flags somewhere.
Yeah.
This is my pirate flag. I got the Ecuadorian flag hanging over there for various reasons, but
I just have Kane over here behind me watching.
Yeah,
you just that's all I got.
Yeah. And then you got the Beatles.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, always the Beatles, man.
Always the Beatles.
Yeah,
legendary.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you find that you have a lot of time to hang out with friends and family, or does wrestling now kind of take up, like your free time? Like my free time is gone.
Yeah, I would say it takes up a lot of free time. Especially like in like when I started to get busier and busier, it did take up a lot of time. And this year I found it, I at least have at least one weekend off a month, it seems like, for the most part, which is good, so that I can have like a little reset. I love working though. I love being booked and busy, but it's nice that I can still like do stuff with the family. Like I still be around, because especially like I only have one grandparent left, so my grandmother's getting older. Like, so spend more time with her and spend more time with the parents, or like my friends that are not into wrestling, and like be with them and still get together with them. Like, and we still all keep in contact, but it's nice for once in a while to like take a moment, breathe and then get back. But I still miss it even when I have off days. I'm just like, I can't, like, because like during the week you just like you just are looking forward to that. So.
Yeah.
And then when after it's over, and then it's like, oh, I gotta go back to the real life.
I will tell you, last year, so we did WrestleMania week in Philly, and we covered 2 indie shows. We taped a show from a restaurant in Philly, and then we did WWE World. We did the Matt Hardy podcast at the Monster Factory. Like, it was just insane. And I just remember, because I was down for the whole week, and then my wife came down because we were going to WrestleMania. But I remember going home on Monday, and I was just like, man, I love my life. I love my wife, all that, but it's never going to be like that again. Like you get that. I used to get that feeling after Chikara shows. Like, I'd go home and I'd be like, man, I don't want to be here. I want to be there. Doing that.
Yeah. It's like, it's your whole other life. Like, it's crazy.
Seriously. It is
hard to
really
explain to people. Yeah. It's hard to explain to people who don't know.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's like, what do you do for work? I'm like, well, full time, I'm a postal worker. By night, I'm a podcaster. I don't know. What is it? Who knows? Well, like, it's like 2 separate lives, but like, it's the most, for me at least, it's been the most rewarding thing. Like, I don't like even going to shows now. I'm like, what? Like, hey guys, like, I know all the people walking. I'm like, it's so weird. Like, just walking into like a locker room now with like Ralph, and they're just like, hey, how are you? Everyone handshakes you. I'm like, they all know us, Ralph. All of them know us. Like, what?
Yeah,
that's weird.
It is kind of weird. I find that, and I don't know if this is something that you find, but I find that getting ready to leave is very stressful.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
making
Oh, yeah.
sure that I have everything that I need.
Yep. Yeah.
Seriously, because like
Seriously.
we have
Yeah.
like consistently upgraded what we do, and so it takes a ton of equipment. And I'm like, I have to make literal lists for myself and check everything off as
Checklist.
I'm
Check it off.
going, or else. But it's a very stressful time for me. I don't like, the like that hour before you leave. Like I don't
Right.
like that at all. Yeah, it's not fun for me.
For me, it's like, okay, so if I'm like driving, like since I'm not like flying somewhere, so
Right.
like say I'm here, I'm going somewhere. I try as best as I can to pack whatever I can the night before, and then
Right.
whatever else I need to pack. So make sure if I'm bringing out, like my note cards are in there, the
Mhm.
pens in there, like another pen
Yeah.
in there, backup cards. Or if my equipment, like if I got to go interview, that's all set before, and then put the makeup in there. Like, and I'm just if I'm started late, like to get ready, because like I like to have my hair and makeup done before I even
Right.
eat. So I'm like, oh my god,
Right.
gotta hurry so I can get on the road to go. Like it's like
Right, right.
because I like to be done. I like to be put
Mhm.
together and done, so that when I get
I
there,
get it.
all I need to worry about is meet with the promoter, whatever, get my
Right.
stuff done. So then I don't need to worry about doing everything else, and then I
Yeah.
can just chill. But then sometimes it's like I don't know about you guys, but like eating.
Yeah.
Eating's a big
Yeah.
thing, and sometimes
Yeah.
like I
Mhm.
try to get better about eating. Like I eat in the morning, and then I
Yeah.
won't eat later. Like, or sometimes I'll take a snack. But since I've been working with, if you guys are familiar with Cesar Benoni, and because he's also
Yes,
a personal
yes.
trainer, so he's my trainer, and
Oh,
I have to eat like 3-4 meals a day. So I'm like trying to get better about
Yeah.
packing something with me on show days when I'm like around, so that I eat.
Mhm.
Right.
So yeah, it's like making sure you have
Yeah.
everything, because I get that you're like, oh my god, if I forget this, if I forget
Yeah.
that, and you don't want to.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you trying to get on the road and make sure like there's
Right.
no traffic.
Right.
Do you have enough gas?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
have to stop for
Yep.
gas?
Yep.
Like,
A lot of factors.
Yeah.
A lot of factors.
but I
Yes.
wouldn't trade that for anything. Like I just like love that feeling, because you just like, get so excited to go, and you're just like, oh my gosh,
Mhm.
and then you just want to get there.
Okay, so you mentioned eating. So two things. You also mentioned coffee. So do you have like now maybe not a local spot, but like some of the bigger places like Dunkin' or Starbucks, or do you have a favorite when it comes to that kind of stuff?
Well, always, Starbucks and Dunkin's are like there and stuff. But I have like some local favorites, like one in where I live in the city I live in. I'm not gonna say just because like
Right.
privacy reasons. But
Of
by
course.
my work, there's also one like I usually post it on my story if I ever get it. I was like, okay, like I was here. So it's like I love then hitting the local favorites, because it's
Right.
nice to also then support like
Yeah.
small businesses and
Always.
stuff like that.
Always.
I love that, because then those are the best spots too for coffee. Like me
Yeah.
and my best friend like a couple weeks ago were like just walking around, I think downtown, and because it was hot out and people were out, so
Yeah.
we go into the one, and I got this like French toast iced latte or something, or iced
Ooh.
coffee, and of course like I got to like mix it up however I wanted to, because
Right.
obviously since like I said I'm with Cesar, so I have to like change up some of my stuff, but like
Yep.
it
Yep.
was so good. Like, and like, because obviously like the bigger corporations are not going to make you things like that.
Sure.
Like, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like
Right. Yeah.
I
yeah.
love that. I love that so much.
Okay, so that's number one. Number two. Now this goes back to a conversation we had before we got on the air, and I said I was going to bring this up.
Oh, gosh.
I need to get some opinions on this ice cream business.
There
Okay.
we go. There
So we
go.
decide we're going to go to the store and get ice cream. So we go to the store and we're looking at the ice creams, and they're all like, $5, $6, whatever. Then we see one that's 3 for $12. So we decided, okay, well, we'll get the 3 for $12. And in my mind, I thought, okay, well, that means I'll pick one and she'll pick one, and then we'll pick one that we both enjoy. So she finds one right away. It's a Reese's peanut butter
Right.
cup ice
Oh,
cream. 'Cause
there we go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best choice. Best
So
choice.
so she finds
Yes.
that right away. So then she says to me, "Oh, well, there's dulce de leche." She's like, "You'll eat that, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I thought she was suggesting that to me as the one that I would pick. Well, she wasn't. She was suggesting that as the one for both of us. So then I said to her, I'm like, "Well, I don't really see anything else. Like, that would be the one I would get for me." I'm like, "I don't really see anything else here that is really piquing my interest." So then it came down to like we started looking at other ice creams, and it became this whole big thing. But then it came back to this 3 for $12, and I'm like, let's just do it. We'll just get 2 of that one. So now here we are. We've got 1 half gallon of the Reese's peanut butter. Then we've got 2 half gallons of the dulce de leche. So when we come home, we're scooping ice cream, and I notice that she scoops the Reese's peanut butter, and then she scoops the dulce de leche, and I'm like, so wait a minute. This was supposed to be I pick one, you pick one, and then we get one that we both agree on. And now it seems pretty unfair to me that like you get 2 flavors and I only get one because I'm not going to eat that Reese's peanut butter stuff. I did not say any of this to her because I didn't want to get in an argument about that. But I feel justified in saying like I think this is unfair. I got gypped out of an ice cream flavor. So I wanted some opinions on that because I thought that I think I got robbed. Just saying.
There was nothing else that you guys would have liked together, or one that like how many other flavors were there?
Well, there was probably like 8 or 9 other flavors, but nothing that we would like because I don't think either one of us would have picked just like there was like the plain vanilla and the chocolate.
Right.
Then she saw one that was some kind of star-spangled nonsense, and it was strawberry, vanilla, and blueberry, and I was just like, I don't know, it just didn't appeal to me. But then there was weird stuff like pistachio nut and like, and she suggested coffee as well because she thought, oh, the coffee ice cream, you'll like that. Well, I kind of do, but like I wasn't in the mood for coffee ice cream. You got to be in the mood for that.
Right.
But yeah, there was really nothing else, to be honest, that I think either one of us would have picked. So I feel like I've been robbed. I feel like, we're going to have to do this all over again so that I can get 2 flavors next time.
Right.
Well, I mean, hey, you got 2 dulce de leches, so you could take the one.
I did. I'm going to keep every time I take a scoop out of one of them, this is my secret plan. I'm going to tell her that that's the one for the 2 of us. So by the time we get done, like I'm going to end up eating all of that ice cream and she's not even going to know. Like I'm so excited to put this diabolical plan into
evil plan together.
She's going to listen to this and figure it out. And she's going to be
that's the great thing about this. She hardly ever watches the show. Like she supports what I do, but she doesn't watch because she's a bit okay. So she was never a wrestling fan, but she got into wrestling because of me, and we do watch on TV. She's a huge Drew McIntyre fan, so we're all about Drew McIntyre in this house. But she does enjoy indie wrestling because she likes being there live. It's much
right,
and it's even more. It's even much different than being live at like a WWE or an AEW.
Oh yeah,
show it's so different.
You're in the middle of it. You're immersed in it.
You're in the action.
The wrestlers are just different. The interactions are different. So she really enjoys that. But yeah, she got into wrestling for me, but she does not watch. Like every now and then she'll hop in for like a few minutes and watch something to see what I'm doing. But for the most part, like I know I'm pretty well safe to say whatever here because like she's never gonna hear about my diabolical plan.
Your diabolical plans, evil.
Yeah, evil plans. Okay. Yes. All right. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, as far as your career in professional wrestling, as far as that goes, do you have any goals that you're still looking to accomplish at this point?
Well, some goals I set for the year for me were like some big ones were like getting to the West Coast, which I think might happen. So hopefully that happens.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
I'd love to work a show in the Middle East. Like that would be like so cool for me. Like I just like that would mean a lot. I'm trying to renounce more people that are Arab, Middle Eastern, and Arabic. I got to do it once, and something happened with the audio where it wasn't recorded, and I was like, "Oh no!" And it was such a cool moment because everybody started clapping like right after. However, I think it might be happening again, and I'm like hoping like. It all works out because I want to do it so badly. So I really want to do stuff like with that. But obviously, like the biggest one is to sign. No matter like even anywhere. It doesn't even have to be big, even though the big one I want to go to the E, obviously, and that would be a big dream of mine. But like just anywhere, I would love to do this full time. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. At least I got to do all of this. But that is like the main goal.
Indeed. All right. So this when we air now, we will be in April. It will be the Monday after WrestleMania. But what do you have coming up in your world that you'd like to highlight?
Black Label Pros returning. So I'm announcing in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Square Circle Expo for our return. I'm very, very excited about that. Like, it's going to be a good time. So that's going to be on IWTV. And then after that is Smashmaster and Phantom 6 Wrestling doing a collaborative show. I'm very excited about that. Ring announcing there since I'm both the ring announcer. And it's like kind of close by my area. So then my family comes and my friends. So it's super cool. And then I know May, there's a lot happening. Pro Wrestling Magic, Boca Raton Championship Wrestling. And then obviously we got Power Pro Lucha at the end of the month. So that'll be fun. I'm excited.
Absolutely.
There's stuff coming up. I'm probably forgetting something because I'm still trying to memorize May. Like, I'm just okay. There's this. I have it all written down on like my notes app on my phone.
Well,
just like let me know because I'm like sometimes I'm just like, and I put the day next to it because like that's always important too. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming up. Lots of ring announcing, lots of interviews. Like, I'm very, very excited. Lots of traveling coming up. So
very cool. Yeah, well, as you've seen, the socials are running at the bottom of the screen throughout the episode, so make sure that you are following Samira online to be able to see everywhere that you can catch her doing her wonderful job at ring announcing or backstage interviewing or whatever they've got for her. She will be doing a great job at it, so make sure you're following her. Check out all her stuff online. It's been great having you on the show this evening. Awesome to get to chat it up a little bit, and we'll be seeing each other down the line, as you mentioned, at Pro Lucha on May 25th. But just great to have you on. Great to get to know you a little bit better now that we've officially met. So we appreciate your time. We appreciate you coming on, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank you guys. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Well, good. And you're always welcome here. Yeah, anytime you want to come on and chat it up about anything, you are always welcome here.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that is going to do it for this episode of Wrestling with Life. Our big 2025 return has kicked off in grand fashion. We have plenty of great episodes coming up, so make sure that you are following us on socials at Opinion City Pod to see everything that we're doing. Like, share, and subscribe over on our YouTube channel to make sure that you don't miss any of our content. So with that, for Samira, for Parmesan, I'm King Ralph. And remember, kindness is free, so be kind to each other. God bless you, and we will see you next time.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. You're still here? It's over. Go home.